further and further away as a new Bankrate poll finds 77% of Americans have financial regrets. One of those, not saving early enough for retirement and not saving enough for emergencies. Emergencies like the housing crisis we're currently facing, as a Wall Street Journal poll finds only 10% of people polled say homeownership is easy to achieve.
Financial coach and co-host of The Ramsey Show, Jade Warshaw, joins us now. Jade, good to see you. So for those people who find themselves in the position of not saving enough for retirement or not saving enough for an emergency in their life, what advice do you have? What can they do? How can they redo things? You don't get time back, but what advice do you have to help them make it up?
Yeah, thanks for having me. Listen, I relate to that 77% of Americans. I know a little something about regret, right? My husband and I had $280,000 of student loans, and we had cars we couldn't afford, and we did the whole credit card thing, and we had to spend 7.5 years getting that mess cleaned up, paying off the debt, and then another set of years saving up to finally buy a house. And so I totally understand it. The thing here is we can't let a long timeline keep us from moving forward. We've got to embrace that. It's not a microwave. Commit to the journey.
My mom always told me to live small, and she meant that in a very big way and in a much more granular way. But it was to just live in a way that you could afford and manage yourself. And Jade, I want to ask you about this. One thing, if people want to buy a house, they really have to think about getting up and moving somewhere to the Midwest. I just bought a house in Ohio. It's one of the only places in America where homes are really reasonably priced.
You know, my colleague, Dr. John Deloney, would say we've got to choose reality. And the reality is, you're exactly right, Dagan. For some of us, it may be moving to an area where things are less expensive. For a lot of Americans, it's simply getting their financial house in order. And for a lot of us, we've got to change our habits. We've got to stop borrowing money, because for a lot of us, our debt is what's eating up so much of our cash. It's not allowing us to afford the house payment that maybe we would like. And so there's a part of this where we've got to change our behavior. Like I said before, we've got to embrace that longer timeline. It took my husband and I a decade before we stopped renting and were able to purchase a home. And so Americans, we have to realize this is taking longer. Yes, I know it's not fun, but it's still achievable. It may take you changing your habits. It may take you accepting a different type of position in a place where it's less expensive.
I love that. Live in reality. See what houses cost more. Interest rates are higher. You have to save longer, but do it to get the house and live the dream. All right. While old Joe enjoys his days off at the beach, the luxury of retirement seems to be a thing of the past for most Americans. But it's Gen Z who needs the sympathy, according to one Washington Post columnist, who, by the way, was an intern just until this summer. He says, quote, as older workers stay in their jobs longer, younger people start off in comparatively lower paying positions and move up more slowly. They often have to wait decades for promotions. And so, again, we have older people, 70s and 80s, still working, maybe taking jobs away from younger people. But isn't that a symptom of the problem, that they don't have enough money for retirement? They have to keep working.
Yeah, you know, listen, retirement is a relatively new concept. I mean, it used to be you kind of just work until you die, right? Yeah. And with positions now, it's more comfortable to work longer. And part of it is, yes, we don't have enough money to retire. And part of it is it's just this healthy component of wanting to stay active, wanting to stay productive in society. And so we do understand that. But I think we, younger generations have to treat it just like anything else. When you do your job research, you need to find out, okay, how likely is it for me to be able to move up, in my career? How long might that take? And factor that in when you're making these decisions about education and what your career path is going to be. And at the very least, the way the world is today, there are so many options. If you want to create your own path and become an entrepreneur, now is the time to do it.
Right. It sounded a little whiny. I thought it's like all these older people need to get out of my way so I can move ahead in life. I don't think it's the older people's problem. Jay, great to see you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, personally for me, I don't see a lot of I don't see a lot of older people working. Usually, like here in California, they do retire in their mid-60s, because they 401k, they definitely save and everything. But it comes to people that's in our 30s and 20s, they find it hard to save for some reason. But go ahead, Hakeem, man, what's your take on it?
I love that you say that. I want to say this real quick. Time is changing. Things are getting expensive. We need new ways and new methods. Butterfly Jones just said something correctly. He said, I'm in Akron, Ohio. Houses are cheap. Where you want to stay at, you can't stay there no more. You got to think differently and might have to move out your state if you want to get at a piece of the American pie. If you're working at Burger King here in Seattle, you might need to move somewhere where you could probably own a house working at Burger King if that's all you're going to do. And I'm just speaking very candidly. There's some people who live in the deep South, Mississippi, Alabama, who owns houses, own land, and they're not doing glamorous jobs. Some people are farmers or catching alligators and lizards, and that's how they make their way. So you have to find creative ways. As far as the retirement thing, we have technology now. The only thing that's stopping you from finding a way to build a retirement is this, and opening up a book. I don't care about a 401k, to be honest with you. YouTube taught me that I don't need to sign up for a 401k plan. I could set one up myself. S&P 500. I've watched thousands of videos of finance, S&P 500, U.S. stocks, international stocks. It's a 3-fund portfolio. Set it on auto and leave it alone. Buy you some land, buy you a house, own you some rental property. That's your retirement right there. Most people don't even do that. A lot of people do the traditional way. That doesn't work anymore. Work 30 years, own one house. You might have bought that house out of your means and you have a bunch of car payments. No, that's not the way. You know what I mean? Work 30 years, retire, and you living off $1,000. That doesn't work. We're not our parents anymore. Technology has given us ways. Even if you're making some money, you could probably still hop in the car and go do Uber if you're retired to make a little extra money a couple of weeks. Some of us might have to do that. You got old ladies out there pushing and do Uber. It gives them something to do, but an extra $200-300 doesn't hurt. You don't need that much to retire. You get free healthcare after a certain age. All you need is a comfortable place to live, some money to spend on your grandkids, and you to be okay.
Not only that, but one thing about Jay Wilshire that I love what she said. She said her and her husband. She
Yeah.
didn't do it by herself. That's the thing when it comes to trying to achieve home ownership. Home ownership, you should not try to thrive it by yourself. Try to thrive it with someone that you could build a future with. Then you were able to capitalize off the opportunity. Yes, a lot of people right now are complaining about home ownership because, like Hakeem said, people are living in areas that is beyond their means. Straight prime example, Florida. Well, I was looking. Hakeem, I told you I've been looking around for houses and stuff like that.
Yeah.
One house in Miami, Florida, was like $500,000. Literally $500,000. $500,000. That's just for a couple of bedrooms in Florida, Jordan. It's not even that lavish. That right there, that $500,000, like she stated, I could go to Ohio and get a beautiful home for less than for $250,000. So it's just the way that whatever you want to live in that type of location. You want to live in the city life, it's going to cost city money, and majority of people don't even have that type of money. Now, when it comes to the aspect of retirement, I always tell people when you're on YouTube, at least take 5 minutes out of your day. Watch something like financial literacy. Learn about financial literacy to build your mind. And don't always watching gossip and garbage content. Watch some good content that's going to be able to elevate your mind to the next level. Now, when it comes to 401k, like Hakeem stated, which is also a fact, you can create your own 401k. You don't need your job to help you create your own 401k. You get money out of your check. I think Dave Ramsey came up with the method. I think it's 10% save. And the rest, I think the rest of your money go to your bills, and then I think 5 goes to you. So if you manage those, I don't know if I'm saying it correctly, Dave Ramsey, forgive me, but I know when it comes to the aspect of saving, you always say make sure you have extra money, use that and throw it in somewhere so you can be able to build your own future. Because I came to Jordan, I'm not lying to you, I do see older women at Burger King.
Yep.
At Walmart.
Yep.
Whole Foods.
Yep.
Target, I can give you name. They're not retirement because they don't save. And the
When
sad thing is
Dixie,
too, when Dixie, and the sad thing is too, people keep forgetting women. Statistically speaking, women live longer than men.
yeah.
Men are out of here, and there's women that's still working because their husband didn't save. So I
But
would say it's very important to make you set up for your future because you never know. I know everybody say tomorrow's not promised, but at the same time, you still want to set up for it. Go ahead, Hakeem.
but also
Your thought
remember,
on it.
women typically work in retail jobs, and
Yes.
shout outs to Adeli Millie '07 from
Yeah,
Kick.
the kid. I shout out to Kid. Yeah, follow
Kick,
guys. Follow.
The topic is saving for a house,
Well, retirement. Yeah, and retirement.
saving for retirement. So yeah, so that is the case. You know what I mean? That's all I wanted to say.
Now that, but shout out to Ashton, the creator of Sightseer Avengers, also in the building. Shout out to the lovely Sherry
Barry
Bryan,
Bryant.
and also Brian and Sky.
Listen,
Love
hey,
it. Shout
listen,
out to you guys.
Tony,
Go ahead.
she giving you so much love. I said to myself, I lost her.
Hakeem, I told you
I
I'm good with
lost
the
her.
ladies, man. You don't believe me,
I
man.
said I
told you
lost her.
I'm good with the ladies.
I said
no,
I
because
lost.
I give her a shout out. You be talking, you want to cut everything off like yo. Shout out to Sherry Bryan.
I said it took me a couple years to build her up, and you just took her away from me.
Nah, I give her back to you. You gotta do. Remember when she pops up, you gotta stop everything. Say shout out to Sherry Bryan. You see shout out to Sherry Bryan with that energy. She gets excited.
I just don't be listen. I be trying to respect you. You know, I just don't want to cut up in front of people. I was like, I see
no, you
can
cut in front of me. I do it all. I do it all the time. I do it all the time.
I be scared.
Mimi's in the building. I say shout out to Mimi. She's in the building. Ashley's in the building. Shout out to Ashley.
I said
everybody's in the building. Butterfly. I said shout out. Even while y'all talking, see, I told you she like woo, because it's like shout out to Sherry Bryan. She's in the building. Jordy got to do that same energy. It's that energy. It's like a rush.
Hey,
you get a rush.
You know what has to happen after the show? I'm at to go back to the trenches to get my courage back.
Look, celebrate me. I told you, gotta.
I do.
Women want to be celebrated.
Listen, don't worry, Sherry. I'm going back to 4-7. I'm going back to Adder Powder to get my courage back because I think I lost it now.
Wait a minute, Ashley got an emoji? I forgot Ashley had an emoji.
Yeah.
No, because put Ashley emoji in the chat. No, I know Ashley got an emoji. No, but say, folks, work together. It's not that hard. I promise you. Even if some people use the method. Now the bank have their own method. Bank of America have their own method. You spend a certain amount of dollars, they save the extra change you have left over, and they put it in the savings account for you. So banks are knowing that people have an issue with savings, so they create methods so people can save, so they don't have to suffer later on in life. Go ahead, Jordan. Your commentary.
Yeah, man. When it comes to you live in a big city, I'm sorry, but you're gonna need some type of side gig. You especially live in a big city, especially here in Los Angeles. Majority of people don't have just one job. You know, either they have a part-time job or they have side gigs. So, in order, to save some type of money, because the middle class wage here is at $61,000. $61,000 here in LA. So when it comes to big cities, I require you to get a second job or a second gig. You know, if you get a gig of 2 to 4 hours, make some good money off, for the side. That's perfectly fine. But now, and also, if you work in the Midwest, if you're in Illinois, Michigan, Ohio, Indiana, Kansas City, all that type of stuff, which there's a little bit more cheaper there. To me, it's kind of require you. Stuff is getting expensive. It's going to require you, to maybe, find you a maid and live with that maid so you can save money, save money for you to save money so you can also, to save better as well, everything. Because I know there's a lot of single people out there, and I know a lot of people are struggling out there, especially with saving money. But if you find a mate, find a long-term relationship, that's the best way to do is, live together and combine your money together, and you can save well. Me and my wife, we make over, in the household, we make over 6 figures, especially with our daughter and everything. And also we have like 4 streams of income coming to an apartment. And then next year we're trying to, get a bigger place, for our daughter. And then probably the next 3 to 5 years, we could find a house kind of out on the outskirts of Los Angeles and everything. So, we do have a plan of, how to save our money, especially with our daughter and everything. And also having 4 streams of income coming to households is in order that, make more money from our main jobs, and also make more money, for me, it's for the podcast, and also for her, it's for our dog boarding business and everything. So like I said, people be smart with your money. You know, it's going. I mean, economy is getting crazy right here. So it's so much stuff you can find on the internet on how to save money. Or like I said, if you live in a big city, there's side gigs anywhere. You can find these side gigs anywhere. You know, you don't have to work 20 hours. I find a part-time job to work 20 hours or 15 hours. You know, that's a lot of stuff you do. You can make good money. You can work somewhere for like one day for like 8 hours, and that's it. You can make good money a day.